organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, don't know what to do with your pumpkins from Halloween? We'll show you where you can take them next.
And find out more about what they're digging up in Hubbard Park.
All this and more next.
This is Daily Iowan TV.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Selena Carr.
And I'm Austin Love.
As you walk along the backside of the Pinacrest this week, you'll see a little red, white, and blue along with the changing colors of fall to recognize Veterans Day. On Saturday, the University of Iowa Veterans Association partnered with volunteers to place over 5,000 American flags on the Pinacrest. Each flag represents a veteran from Iowa to honor their service. Stick with us for the rest of the week as we continue to cover all the university events in celebration of Veterans Day.
The two Americans held captive in North Korea landed back in America last night. 46-year-old Kenneth Bay and 26-year-old Matthew Todd Miller were being held for unruly behavior. Bay was held for 2 years, while Miller was held for 7 months. The Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, flew to North Korea to negotiate the release.
President Obama announced Friday that they will send 1,500 more troops to Iraq to continue the fight against ISIS. Along with the increase in soldiers, the White House plans to ask Congress for more than $5 billion to fund the fighting. Adding these 1,500 troops will make the soldier count in Iraq nearly 3,000 strong.
A fourth victim from the Maryville Pilchuck High School shooting died this weekend. Andrew Freiberg, who was the cousin of the shooter, died after being in critical condition for the past 2 weeks. Freiberg is the 5th student to die from this incident, including the shooter.
Even though the weather is getting colder, the exploration of Hubbard Park continues. Daily Iowan TV's Hannah Hawks dug a little deeper into Iowa City's history.
If you walk by Hubbard Park lately, you may have noticed some large holes in the ground. Most Iowa City residents assume that it's just another form of campus construction. Little do they know, researchers are in those holes digging up what residents left behind over 150 years ago.
This is an interesting excavation because we know this was a working class neighborhood. We know it was occupied very early on by settlers, probably from the late 1830s.
Johnson County had very few newspapers, making it hard to document early civilizations. Natural disasters in Iowa's state records have proved more valuable to documenting the land's history.
We know that it was capped by, probably by a flood deposit from the flood of 1851. So when we see that flood deposit, when we get below that, we know we're dealing with some very old stuff.
One of the first artifacts found this fall was a pendant that dates back to the early 1900s. Since then, they have found foundations of houses, remnants of toilets, dishes, buttons, jewelry, doll fragments, Native American spearheads, and bones.
So when we clean that up, hopefully we'll find a lot more from early Iowa City.
Students on campus were intrigued to find out what really was happening in the park.
I think it's pretty cool that, we're finding all this history that we didn't originally know about right here on our campus.
Archaeologists spend hours sifting through tons of dirt, but they say they wouldn't trade it for anything.
It's always wonderful to find something new, to find something that's very old, and to realize that you've been walking on this park. I've been in Iowa City for close to 20 years, and I've walked over this park a million times, but it's never occurred to me that all this stuff would be preserved underneath it. So it's great to see, it's great to find, yeah.
The digging will continue until Thanksgiving. If you're interested in seeing the artifacts they have discovered, visit the exhibit in the Natural History Museum in Iowa Hall starting next year.
Still to come on Daily Iowan TV, see how University of Iowa's students celebrated the Festival of Lights.
And in sports, Iowa volleyball defeated its first-ranked opponent. Find out who next.
Well, Selena, I've officially busted out the winter jacket. It's gotten cold out there.
I know, and I heard that we might get snow, so I'm hoping that's not true.
Not looking forward to that. Daily Iowan TV's Katie Sextro is standing by in the weather studio with a look at this week's forecast. Katie?
It looks like we'll see more clouds than sunshine in the next week. Temperatures will dip down into freezing levels, and we might even see some snow flurries this week. But before the cold weather rolls in, temperatures will be warm tomorrow. The morning will start out at 41 degrees and will warm up to 60 by the afternoon. Clouds will stick around into the evening and will cool down to 53 degrees. Moving into the 7-day forecast, we will have temperatures staying in the mid-30s. Tuesday through Thursday, we will only see a high of 38 and lows will dip into the mid-teens. This weekend looks like temperatures will stay consistent and chilly, but the sun might finally make an appearance on Saturday. If you haven't brought out the winter coat and mittens yet, you definitely will want to this week. Austin and Selena, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Katie. After Halloween ends, pumpkins still populate the front porches of many houses and apartment buildings. But have you ever wondered what happens to those jack-o'-lanterns that don't get smashed? Daily Iowan TV's Cole Johnson found the answer.
As the seasons change, so do the decorations. Halloween ended a while ago, and the fake spider webs, witch hats, and stuffed toy bats are finally coming down. However, there is one item that many Iowa City residents find to be a little tricky to get rid of: pumpkins. The City of Iowa City Solid Waste Division is encouraging everyone to compost their used pumpkins instead of just throwing them out. I caught up with Jennifer Jordan, the City of Iowa City's Recycle Coordinator, to share how to properly dispose of your pumpkins.
If people already have a yard waste container, they can put it in their yard waste container. Otherwise, they can purchase a yard waste bag at one of the local hardware stores or at City Hall, or Hy-Vee even has them for sale. They're through the city. The other thing you can do is bring it directly to the landfill for composting, and there's no charge if they bring it out that way.
So instead of letting squirrels get into your trash to eat your jack-o'-lanterns, put them in your compost or go to your local participating grocery and hardware stores to purchase the city's composting sticker. Cole Johnson, Daily Iowan TV.
If you want to compost your pumpkins, head to the Iowa City government page for more information.
Today marks the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall in Germany. After many years of November 9th being a tragic date in the lives of Germans, 1989 changed the feelings from distress to joy as the wall fell. In Germany today, hundreds of thousands of visitors came to the site of the wall to celebrate the date.
The oldest serving member of the UI faculty is celebrating his 100th birthday this Wednesday. G. Edgar Folk is an emeritus professor of molecular physiology and biophysics here at the university. Folk has been on staff since 1953. He still continues his career with research and writing and has published over 40 papers since his retirement. A birthday party was held in his honor on Friday, where UI President Sally Mason spoke along with Folk's daughter.
Diwali, the Festival of Lights, was celebrated Saturday at the Iowa Memorial Union. The Indian Student Alliance held an event where they served authentic Indian dinner and held a cultural show featuring Indian performances from students and community members. Diwali is an ancient Hindu festival that represents the battle between good and evil. ISA celebrated Diwali on campus for over 10 years, and each year it continues to grow in popularity.
Though the Hawkeyes had a hard time this weekend, other Iowa athletics took home wins.
Let's send it over to Lauren Belanda in the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio for an update on all things black and gold right after this.
Can't pick up a copy of the Daily Iowan? Are you worried about how you're going to find out about the latest news in Iowa City and the University of Iowa? Well, look no further. You can download the Daily Iowan mobile app on your iPhone for the area's best news coverage. And you can also read and watch us on your iPad. You can always find current and past Daily Iowan stories at dailyiowan.com. The Daily Iowan is now on TV, online, and in your pocket. If it happens, it's news to us.
Thanks, guys, and welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. Coming off a 48-7 domination over Northwestern, it was a tough loss to swallow as Minnesota bulldozed the Hawkeyes in TCF Bank Stadium on Saturday. Nothing seemed to be in favor for the Hawkeyes. I'll toss it over to football reporter Chelsea Brown for a recap.
Opened up fast action against the Golden Gophers with a 1-yard rushing touchdown on the first drive from Mark Wiseman, his 30th career touchdown and 7th straight in a game. The Gophers quickly answered back with a 9-yard rushing touchdown from KJ May to tie it up in the first quarter. What seemed like a close run quickly let up, and the Golden Gophers dug a giant hole for the Hawkeyes, putting up 35 total points before halftime.
Basically, they just shoved it down our throats. I mean, I'm not sure we quit, but they just shoved it down our throats, and we couldn't do anything about it, and that's not a good feeling.
Mitch Leidner and company kept the heat coming in the third quarter, putting up Max Williams' 3rd touchdown in the game. Minnesota up 42-7, and nothing looking good for the Hawkeyes. Iowa only earning 1 first down in the third quarter, and with 3.5 minutes of possession, weren't putting up points and tiring the defense. Iowa's John Loudermilk with 13 and linebacker Josie Jewell with 9 recorded their career-high tackles, but nothing was stopping this Minnesota offense.
I don't know, you got to find that hunger inside of you to go out there and just want to dominate your opponent, and that's really what they did today. They had that hunger and we didn't, and they wanted it more than us today.
Minnesota now with 48 points on the board with 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and C.J. Beathard trying to contribute to Iowa's offense, but the hole was too big to fill. The Hawkeyes knew the run game would be the test, and Minnesota proved they dominated that area on the gridiron with 298 total team rushing yards. Final score, Minnesota 51, Iowa 14. Minnesota outplayed Iowa, doubling their total yardage with 429 compared to Iowa's 205. Hopefully the Hawkeyes can shake this one off as they head to Illinois, a team who has already defeated Minnesota. I'm Chelsea Brown signing out inside TCF Bank Stadium. I'll toss it over to Jalen Socek for more on this Hawkeye loss.
Thanks, Chelsea. And today's loss was an overall conjoined effort by the team as the Hawkeyes couldn't get anything going. The Iowa offense struggled after that first drive. The defense was exhausted, and special teams, they couldn't keep control of the ball. It took just under 6 minutes for Iowa to punch in a touchdown for Mark Wiseman, but they wouldn't reach the end zone again until the final 17 seconds of the game. In between that, Minnesota put up 51 points on the Hawkeyes in an ugly fashion.
To that point, the script really went well, and then after that, they pretty much had their way.
Wiseman rushed for a season low of 21 yards. Iowa only put up a total of 205 offensive yards compared to the Gophers' 429. The lack of an Iowa offense kept the defense on the field for 36 minutes of the regulation play, and Iowa turned over the ball 3 times. Special teams gave up a blocked punt, and punt returner Jonathan Parker had the ball slip out of his hands more than once.
I thought it'd be more of a hard-fought game, tight, close game, but they came out early, ready to go, and it was just one of those days where we just couldn't get anything going, and they had all the momentum, and it's just nothing was going right for us.
This game follows one of Iowa's strongest offensive performances yet against a Northwestern team that they were able to beat 48-7. The pounding they took from the Gophers has the team scratching their heads as to how this would happen.
Well, I know we had a great week of practice. Everybody was hustling. We were making plays during practice, but you got to show up and play,
The team is quick to move past this game with 3 games still left in conference play and a small chance for them to win out the Western Division.
It's just football, you're going to have bad times. That's what we live for.
We look to bounce back and get a win. You can't look any other way. This is my last year. We lost 2 trophy games. That really hurts me being my last year. But we got some good games ahead of us.
Inside TCF Bank Stadium, Jalen Socek, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
The Hawkeyes may not have had the best weekend on the gridiron, but the Iowa volleyball team is on a hot streak. Iowa defeated number 12 ranked Purdue Saturday night, making it their 4th consecutive Big Ten win this season. With the victory, Iowa improves to 13-12 overall. They head to Penn State on Wednesday and then return home to host Wisconsin on Saturday. That'll do it for me here in the sports studio tonight. Tomorrow we recap the soccer battle that went into double overtime between Iowa and Wisconsin, and we'll give you the highlights on the Iowa women's basketball 119-57 victory over St. Ambrose. Austin and Selena, back to you at the desk.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a look into tomorrow's pages of the Daily Iowan.
Learn about the food drive the University of Iowa student government is holding.
And read about all events being held in celebration of Courier's 100th birthday.
And before we leave you tonight, we have some good news for all you Toy Story lovers out there.
Disney and Pixar released plans for a 4th Toy Story movie this past Thursday. The last Toy Story movie was released in 2010.
The same director from the first 2 movies, John Lasseter, will be the director for the 4th. The film is set to be released in June of 2017.
And Selena, I'm 22 years old and I'm really looking forward to seeing this actually. Probably bring back some good memories.
I know, I cried at Toy Story 3 and all the rest were really good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out tomorrow at 9 p.m. again.
And follow us on Facebook and Twitter at DITV News and to keep updated throughout the day. I'm Selena Carr.
And I'm Austin Love. Thanks for watching and have a great night.
Want a major that'll take you somewhere? I joined and now I'm in Los Angeles, California, interning for Conan O'Brien at Warner Brothers Studios.
SJC.